Hi, I'm Kevin Crosley, and this is Executives in Golf Carts Having Fun. As president and CEO of Arc Herkimer, I take big swings for the organization, and one of those big swings was our acquisition of the MV Golf and Event Center. 175 acres of pristine property, 18 holes of golf, restaurant, bar, and an event tent overlooking the beautiful Mohawk Valley. Aha! Dr. Michael Kelberman! Welcome to the MV Golf and Event Center.
It's a delight to be here, Kevin.
Good to see you, buddy. Let's load you up.
Okay.
We'll go up and putt around a little bit.
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there.
You know, it's amazing to me that I've lived here much of my life and I've never been here before.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
such a beautiful setting.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely a beautiful course. So one of the things that I've always been fascinated about you with is what you've done outside of your professions, not the least of which obviously is the Kelberman Center. I'd love to hear kind of the background to that story as to how that all came about back in the day.
Well, you know, in many ways, you're often an accidental tourist in life. And, you know, you can make all the plans you want. And obviously being in medicine, you know, that's a planned process and it's a long process.
Sure it is, yeah.
And back in the day, it was, most people would consider it rather extraordinary what people went through to try and reach a high pinnacle of achievement. But after a while, you know, as life evolves, opportunities present themselves. And I've never been one to really sit back and let the world happen to me. I've tried to shape things as much as I can. And when our family, many years ago now, almost 25 years ago, was affected by autism,
right?
It was an eye-opener to me.
I bet.
And you can imagine,
as it is to most families.
As it is to most families.
Sure.
And you can imagine being a medical professional that I sort of thought that maybe I would have a better handle on things.
Right.
But boy, I didn't.
Right.
And certainly my wife didn't. And together we had to make some decisions. We love the area. Both of us, even though we actually didn't meet here, but we both were raised here.
Right.
And had our families here. And so we had to take a good hard look at things and say, what are we going to do for our son, who was diagnosed at the age of 2.
Okay.
We had 2 other daughters who were only a year or 2 older.
Okay.
So we were really having to make some hard decisions, and really it consisted of, we had the resources to go where we needed to go and get the best for our son. If we stayed here, we were going to have to reinvent the wheel a little bit.
Right. Had to create those resources.
Had to create the resources.
Absolutely. Here you are, a medical professional, the top of your profession, and you had this situation with your family, and you, like most families, were lost in terms of the ability to try to figure out what is the best way to proceed for our son. And you've driven the way in this case, but many families struggle for a long time trying to find that perfect niche for the people.
And the thing that's hardest for me to accept a quarter of a century later,
right,
is that it's still hard for people.
Sure.
In many instances.
Absolutely.
The bureaucracies are difficult to battle. It is just by nature a bureaucratic area, and you try and diminish that as much as possible for kids and families.
Sure.
And you know, I say something a lot with our leadership team, which has evolved, especially over the last couple of years, and we'll talk about that, but they've evolved in just a tremendous group of people. I'm just so proud of them. But the one thing I say to them is that, you know, we have no reason to be here other than for kids and families. Mm-hmm. Everything else is superfluous.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's what gives meaning to our day, and I think they've embraced that.
Oh, that's a great story.
So medicine's you know, it's a great, rewarding career. and it's very meaningful to me, and I still embrace it, full time and wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I think we've really built up cardiology in this area. We've been very fortunate to have a great team of people. Even our youngest doctors, our 3 youngest doctors, have come from the best places in the Northeast. And
Okay.
we've been really able to attract them because it's a high quality group. And we've gotten, some real support from outside people who look at us. For example, the American College of Cardiology, which is our guy.
That's your guys.
Our group. About 7, 8 years ago, they decided to look at organizations and give credentialing to the best ones, rather than listening to U.S. News and World Report and all these other people who wouldn't really know. And so we were the first cardiology organization working at MVHS to receive the Arc Center distinction.
Really?
Which, if you think about that, I can tell you, going back 20 or 30 years ago, this would have been almost unthinkable.
Yeah.
And so there's only 2 places in New York State that have achieved it. It takes a couple of years of they really come in and look at everything you do, the quality of the people, your processes, your results, all that. And it's a real badge of honor. It's a real validation of what we've, as an organization, tried to build.
It's fantastic.
And it gives people a lot of confidence. But even if you have a talented group of people in an organization, you got to have that good connection with people.
Totally.
They have to know that you're in it with them, and that really drives a lot of the quality.
Fantastic. I love that story. I know we're basically about the same age, and so technically we're almost 2 generations apart from the students that you're now in the process of tutoring. And I'm wondering what you're finding the perspective is of this next generation coming through as medical professionals.
Well, it's interesting, and we do talk a fair amount about this. Back in the day, training was very regimented, and it was very hard. And there's day and night, almost a bit of a hazing involved with this long process. I went to school and trained for 15 years.
Okay.
And it's day and night.
Yeah.
So it's a real effort, and medicine was meant to come before anything else, even your personal life, even your personal feelings.
Right.
And in some sense, that's served some people well, but it's also made for a particular personality type that isn't always the best to be involved in the overall medical care of people.
Well, it certainly takes away a little bit from the quality of life that you would like to think you might.
It certainly does.
Yeah, absolutely.
The kids today, they're smart.
Yeah.
And no doubt about it. They've been exposed to a lot more things.
Obviously, sure.
I look at some of these resumes of some of these talented kids, and they dwarf ours from back in the day.
Right.
But, they're a little more anxious about things. They're a little bit more anxious about the future.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be good doctors, but they don't want it to dominate their lives like it did us. And I think I understand that.
I do too.
I think that's certainly understandable. However, it doesn't excuse you from trying to be a great doctor.
The best doctor.
The best doctor possible.
Yeah. We can't thank you enough, Dr. Kelberman, for coming and being with us today. So thank you on behalf of Arc Herkimer and executives in golf carts having fun. Fascinating talking to you. We've been friends for a while, and we don't see each other a lot, but we always have a good time when we get together.
I know our life, both lives are busy, and we travel in different circuits many of the time, but we have such a great time when we get together.
Yeah, we do.
I love picking your brain and hearing your thoughts and what you're doing. And,
thank you.
It's very enjoyable.
And the same here. So thanks very much for coming.
And keep up that good golf swing.
I'll try.